And welcome to the first module, and actually the very first lesson as well of this course that you've signed up for. And today we're going to look at how to set up your goals to ensure that you set yourself up for success, rather than just painting those dreams like what we usually have, like our New Year resolutions or whatever. We're going to give those some feet today by actually attaching some action to them to ensure that you actually reach your goals. We have
Uh,
Twain joining us here again today, and Twain is going to give us some
and
great lessons on what are goals, how we can understand them, and how we can actually maybe put them better together, and then we're going to move forward from there. All right, Twain, I'll just hand it over to you.
Awesome stuff, man. So what we need to do first is I need to share my slides. And it's one of those things where we are not the most tech savvy people, but somehow we make it work. Okay. So goal setting, simplifying goal setting. I think this is one of those things where it oftentimes is quite challenging for a lot of people to have a very systematic process of doing it beyond just saying, hey, this is the goal, this is the thing I want to achieve, and then I have to do all these things like straight away, without giving any real thought to each part of like, why did I choose this particular task or why did I choose this particular way of doing it? And so today, what we want to do is give you a real step by step to help you smash those goals. And the whole point of this whole course is to really equip you with all these skills and give you a rubric through which you can follow through. Okay, so let's dive straight into it. The first thing I always want to start off with is just, as you always, an inspirational quote here. This guy, John Doerr, he is a billionaire, I believe, a tech billionaire related thing, silicone something, to do with the chips and whatever. But anyway, he had this quote, a goal properly set is halfway reached. And it really resonates a lot with the way we do things, because if you put a lot of effort into truly planning things out and understanding at each part of this journey, what am I going to do? You pretty much have a blueprint already to just follow. And a lot of people, they like to dive right in and say, I need to do stuff straight away. While that sentiment is really good, if you don't channel that energy into the correct areas, it always ends up spilling out into the wrong direction and people end up burnt out more often than not. So there are 5 steps to the goal setting process. This first lesson is going to be all about that first step first, but briefly, the 5 steps are defining the outcome-based goal first, then establishing the behavior-based goals from those outcome goals. After that, there are some strategies we're going to go through for taking action, following which we will do some evaluation and review of the progress that's being made. And finally, we will go into the last step, which is how do you determine where the next step is. All right, so let's dive straight into defining your outcome-based goals. And so a lot of times when people think of goals, they think of goals as being, oh, I just want to lose weight. Oh, I just want to achieve this thing. But there's actually 2 different types of goals. The first one is the outcome-based goal, which we're going to go through right now. And this part of the goal setting process is the first step and also the probably one of the most important ones to do well. It's not enough to just say, I want to achieve a specific goal. You have to understand why do you actually want to achieve it. And if you do this right, you can do it in a way that will allow you to improve your conviction through the process. I'm going to try to point to conviction somewhere here. Okay, to improve your conviction. Because things are going to be tough when you go through the process of growth, and the journey to your goals is going to get tough at certain points. And you need to have something that will kind of fire you up to push you through those tough periods. And just like losing weight or making X amount of money is not going to be enough. And so, how do you define outcome-based goals? Basically, you need to understand the what and the why of your outcome that you're looking for. And you have to get really specific about it. So I put it down 3 examples here. The first one you can see there's in red says, I want to lose weight. And this is the most common thing I hear from people that come to me all the time. Okay, but it's not specific enough. Like, how much weight do you want to lose? What's the reason you want to lose weight? Okay, why do you want to lose weight? It doesn't tell you very much. And so you can go to the second layer and can say, hey, I want to lose 10 kilos. Okay, cool. We're getting more specific. So my health improves and I have better energy. Now, this is a great point already. But think about it from that perspective of, is this a strong enough motive to push you through tough periods of of the journey. Like when you're feeling super tired at the end of the day and you feel like, oh, I don't really want to eat the meal that I prepped. I just want to order in KFC. Do you think telling yourself, I want to lose 10 kilos so my health will improve and I will have better energy, do you think that will really drive you? Probably not. And so you can go another layer of specificity, go even deeper. And usually in the goal setting process, in the initial consult with a client, that's what we try to do. When people come to us, we always try to dig into these deeper layers. And so it can become something like, I want to lose 10 kilos so my health improves and I have better energy to ensure I can be there for my kids and my partner to keep creating beautiful memories into old age. Now, when you are facing, the tail end of a hard day and you're looking at your meal prep and you're like, man, my meal prep's okay, but I want to order KFC. You'll be like, but what will my kids, think, right? What will they absorb from this process of me ordering KFC? What will my partner think? Like, I'm just going to be so unenergetic. It's going to affect all these things. And you can start to think about that process. You'll be like, nah, I'll just suck it up. I'm just going to eat my meal prep. And you'll feel a lot better after that. Because more often than not, you only feel that weakness in that moment. And once you can just like give a bit of delay and thought to it, more often than not, you just choose the right action. So this part is super important about the outcome-based goal setting process. You have to get the why and the what about it and really increase that specificity to something that means something to you. And this is different for everybody. Okay? And you have to remember this last important thing before we move on to the next lesson, which is that outcomes are largely out of your control. Okay, so you can do everything right and you will still not achieve the exact result that you might be looking for. That's just life. But you can only control what you can control, and the chances of you achieving your goals goes up when you take the correct actions. Okay? So this is a reminder of why we need to be very adaptable, and being flexible is the key to achieving the goals that you're looking for. And also why understanding that motivation is super important, because at the end of the day, you can achieve that end goal of, creating beautiful memories with your kids, with your partner through many different mediums as well. So we have to be firm with the commitment, but we have to be flexible with the process. What do you think, Mike?
Sounds good. I mean, it reminds me of that, what Simon Sinek, everything starts with a why.
Hmm.
The
That,
why
that's
drives the motivation.
yes.
I was one of those that fell into that trap where it's like you get every year you come up and it's like, okay, this is the year I'm going to lose, I don't know, 5 kilos, right? You're going to lose
Yeah.
weight, but you never actually put that with a why. But you say it's like it's just a goal. It's just something I want to chase.
Yeah.
And so I remember it's like I went through the whole process and everything, and then I came across this other framework that they have, and I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's the SMART goals.
Yes.
So for those that are not aware of it, SMART goals is S stands for specific, like what Twain has just illustrated to you. Then M stands for measurable. It means it must, whatever you are actually putting, there must be something that you can actually measure it with. So in my case, let's call it the 5 kilos. Then it must be achievable,
Yep.
right? So set it so that you can actually achieve it in order to build momentum so that you can continue to strive for more. It must be relevant. So it must be relevant to you. So you don't come and you just say that, oh, I want to lose 10 kilos, but actually, your leg is in a cast, everything. So you must understand your current situation and ensure that it's relevant to you at that time. And
Yeah.
then the last one, it must be time bound. So you must actually give yourself a deadline. Don't say an open-ended goal of, oh, I want to lose 5 kilos this year, but
Yep.
there's no actual timeline put into place. So like you could maybe break it down into milestones. I want to lose 500 grams per month or something like that, where you just give yourself a bit more of a stepping stones as you go through it. And I found that putting that into practice helps to define your goals a little bit better in order to, because then it gives you that not just the goal itself, but it starts to give you a bit more of a map to achieving it. You can actually see like, oh, this is the direction I need to go in order to achieve this.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, you summed it up perfectly there. I do think for the R, it's kind of what we were talking about with the motivation. So relevancy is not just circumstantial relevance, but also I guess the emotional, psychological relevance of the goal itself, right? And we
Mm.
talked about this again. sometimes people want to get a six pack, but the true reason is like, why do people want to get a six pack? What is the purpose of the six pack? What do they believe the six pack is going to achieve for them? Let's say we don't talk about fitness. Some people say, I want to achieve $1 million. But why? What's so special about $1 million?
And what's the opportunity cost?
Exactly. And what's the opportunity cost of kind of achieving that? So if you start to think about it from that perspective, instead of just pure arbitrary goals, give some meaning to it and say, what does this actually mean to you? Because to different people, a six pack means different things. To the guy that has always been overweight his entire life, a six pack means a promise to himself that I can actually achieve hard things.
Yeah.
That it's possible for me to take control of my life. Like that's something can be very personally meaningful. For the guy that maybe, not like particularly in shape, but he's kind of coasted along all his entire life. He's like, hey, a six pack maybe will make me feel more confident in myself so that I can attract more girls and kind of be a better partner, right, to my eventual future partner or something. So it represents very different things. And the six pack, like to a young kid, can be a completely different thing. It's like, oh, it means that I'm a man now to have a six pack or whatever. Of course, the meaning of it, like we can argue about the philosophy behind it and the rationale and stuff, but to be honest, it has to be personal to you,
Yeah.
right? So don't worry too much about being judged. Just come up with something that truly means something to you, and you are already on the right track.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we'll probably stop that lesson here and we'll move to the next one, which should be to choose the behavior based goals. We'll see you in the next lesson.
That's it.